Welcome to a brand new game here with me, Adrenaline. We're playing as Gorgo of the Greek Empire, and we're on the Splintered Fractal Map. Obviously, deity settings and online speed, and all the usual settings that I tend to play on, disaster level 4 and so on. We have established ourselves only on turn 2, so it's quite early, our first set of pins and our planning for our first city. It looks pretty good. Remember, we're going to go into it in a minute, but we're going to need to make sure that we do have, thankfully she has a bias towards hills for our acropolises. So let's settle right now. We get our sailing boost, obviously, and if you notice, there was indeed a scout barbarian, so we're going to want to check that out with our warrior. Let's look at our kit. So, for Hoplite, is that how you pronounce it? I'm trying. Combat victories provide culture equal to 50% of the combat strength of the defeated unit on standard speed. So 25% because it's usually halved for online speed. But this is a military-based situation, so I'm not sure if it really applies to what I would do. +1 combat strength for every military policy slotted. Okay. Plato's Republic, 1 extra wildcard policy slot in any government. That is just nice all around. Hoplite, Greek unique ancient era anti-cavalry unit that replaces the spearman. +10 combat strength if there is at least one adjacent hoplite unit. Oh wow. So I know something about military conquest and combat in this game is that you're supposed to use flanking a lot and like support bonuses, adjacencies. It's why you want to have like a great general of some kind, maybe a great admiral, and so on. But man, okay, interesting. Acropolis, a district unique to Greece for cultural sites, replaces the Theatre Square district and cheaper to build, awards 1 envoy when completed. That is rather easy to forget, but that's cool if you want more envoys. Very nice. +1 culture bonus for each adjacent district and an additional +1 culture bonus for adjacency centers. +2 culture bonus for each adjacent wonder. Entertainment complex and water park. Oh my, that's a lot. Can only be built in hills. The hills priority is obnoxious, but if you have good terrain, you should be okay. I think we'll be building, enough of these at least to have a fair few opportunities for them. So a few turns later, and we finally found our first city-state, Tarooooooga. I love the sound of the name of this. I don't know where it's from. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it properly, but it always reminds you of like some caveman going crazy, like really happy. Anyway, science city-state, not really what we care about too much with Gorgo, but we'll see what happens. In the meantime, we are about to build StoneHench, and I really like StoneHench, at least a lot more than your usual standard fare household name content creators tend to, like with their tier lists and such. I think StoneHench is much better. They consider it to be completely, superfluous, whereas personally, I understand where they're coming from, but I think a lot of that has to do with the opportunity cost hidden behind the difference in speeds that we play. These sort of people that will advise against StoneHench, they play standard speed for the most part, and I do stress how important and different that is. They struggle and they don't like playing the settings that I do, whether it be the tech shuffle and the civic shuffle and figuring your way around. They often talk about it when they're doing live streaming about how they don't like that sort of stuff. And the same thing is true for the speed of the game, because the speed of the game changes the game dramatically. And I think priorities of wonders and what they offer you is a big part of that. So, in a standard speed game, when you can wait 80 turns, suggest hypothetically, to build any of the ancient wonders like Oracle or Temple of Artemis or even pyramids, you can't get away with that kind of, passivity in an online speed game. You have to get things like within the first 20, maybe 30 turns if you're lucky. And StoneHench isn't really as contested as some of the other wonders tend to be by the AI, so it becomes a little easier to get in an arguably very tight window. It's also quite beneficial for a online speed game, again, because of course we want to try and get a religion, like religion is basically helpful for every single kind of game because the pantheon and the beliefs that you can get from it can vary greatly and benefit all manner of different playstyles, and goal objectives. So we definitely want a religion. If you go a religion the normal way, you do have to build a holy site. And often the argument is, why build StoneHench when you can build a holy site? Well, when you build a holy site, you're not done. When you build a holy site, you have to then either build or buy a shrine, which on online speed costs 140 gold. You can see we're nowhere near that, so we'd have to produce that as well. And you're only generating 2 great profit points per turn, which is still not fast enough if you want to beat some of the speedy games with AI on online. And that means you have to dedicate your entire solo city production line to doing projects, doing holy site prayers. You don't really want to be doing that. It's quite wasteful to have to spend your only production line on something as rather temporary as generating great people points from a project. That's the last thing you want to be doing. With a wonder, yes, okay, we're not going to be necessarily putting our Acropolis adjacent to it for this city. But that doesn't mean that doesn't exist for other particular games as well. But in addition to that, it's a wonder. It will still give us that culture boost, that tourism boost, potentially, across the course of the game. It is always going to be valuable. It's not some project that's just going to fade away when you're done. And you can choose when to build your holy site. You're no longer forced to have to build the first district be a holy site, which may not help build your city. Maybe the first city district you want to build is a harbor, so you can produce food better. You can get more production better. Or if you want to go with your specialist, if you get it early enough. You're not kind of like locked in on a holy site. I generally think StoneHench is a rather maligned wonder, and I think you should, look to get it when you can on an online speed game. Standard speed, well, you can listen to the others.
Can you imagine trying to talk 600 people into helping you drag a 50-ton stone 18 miles across the countryside and muscle it into an upright position, and then saying, right lads, another 20 like that, then we can party?
And with one of the most humorous lines that any wonder has in this game, what is it to a game than to enjoy with a few laughs and some comedy, eh? Well, as we progress through this game, you'll find that we've found 4 of our competitors. We have befriended Robert the Bruce and Montezuma. We have a little bit of trouble with our Nubian Amanatore neighbor. And Gran Colombia are sitting on the fence. In a Splintered Fractal game, land can be very strange, and we're certainly on a fairly thin stretch of land as is. Not necessarily going to be the easiest to get more cities out, but we're going to do our best. Also, you might notice that we, with 1 turn remaining on the classical era, are in danger of getting a dark age for the medieval. We don't really want to be doing that, especially if we're going to have loyalty pressure issues, maybe from this city and such. As you can see, it's already rebellion in 38. We don't really want to be making that any worse. So fortunately, with the money we have available, we can choose to buy ourselves our specialist unit. Of course, only 125 gold because it's a specialist unit. Even with gold, it's going to cost less than, say, other equivalent units that it replaces. There it is, our Hoplite is secured. And we are able to get ourselves outside of that danger zone. So, as we continue to build our empire, you might see a very nice Colosseum right in the middle. Now that's how you build a Colosseum. Hell yeah. It's been very good for us, and potential of building a couple of theater squares which will benefit quite nicely off of it with the entertainment complex just here. Very happy with that. But if I may draw your attention a little bit over west. Oh dear. It's back! You know what that means. I've done tons of culture games, but whenever I see this, I want to convert it to a religious one, and that's what we're gonna do. Yerevan is back! We still need to try and suzerain it. We're gonna need to look at our getting a Mani and trying to take it over that way, maybe. Or we could just look to try and get a ton of envoys. I mean, didn't it say with our cool ability towards one envoy for an Acropolis, we could try and build a couple of Acropoli as we have good positions for them. We need ways to be able to take that Yerevan as soon as possible, or at least in line with maybe Moksha. Maybe we can't get Amani. Maybe we have to get Moksha, because we don't have any more governor titles at the moment. We save them for Moksha, and we try and get envoys in other ways, and seize Yerevan, and be on our way for a religious victory. Well, hi. We've lost our religion. I'm not happy. Not gonna be easy to get it back. Look at all these damn apostle units from Mongolia just absolutely suffocating us with their god-awful beliefs. Oh dear, but we do have a couple of apostles of our own. So it's gonna be quite difficult, but we're gonna look to make Moksha great again. And we're going to do that with a combination of having him in this rightmost city, eastmost city, get one more governor title, get that going, maybe convert the city with our apostles, start flooding out units. We have a decent faith economy, so it's not necessarily a hard thing to get more apostles. The hard thing is going to make sure there are our beliefs and then we don't have them die immediately to these goddamn infiltrators. Well, gonna have to stay tuned to see what happens. Well, I'm pleased to say that we've got our religion back. I'm less pleased to say that I have learned a painful but valuable lesson about gurus. So I was thinking, you know what, why not just have gurus of the other religion? If they've already, you know, come over and spread their religion to me, I could use that to my advantage, right? I could have some infiltrator gurus that could potentially go in there unopposed, and we could start, you know, getting over there without them having to kill them off. Yeah, but I can't heal my own units with my own guru that follows their religion. This is kind of useless. Waste of faith, waste of my time. They are potentially a form of blockade in like certain bottleneck type situations, like between these mountains potentially, but they're not going to serve their primary function because unfortunately they need to be the same faith as yours in order to do so. So, lesson learned. Oh dear. So, we're closing in on our victory, but one thing you might notice is one of the 8 is missing. I don't know who it was. I don't know how early it was. It was probably before I even met them because I don't even remember seeing someone get knocked out. It's not like the Tamira situation where we were well in present of Eleanor's conversion with her culture abilities. Maybe that makes our job easier because all we need is Germany and we should be good, right? That'd be nice. So we need to explore this land. Presumably this is all German cities. You can see their border covering all of this sort of continent. So once we get our units fighting their units, killing their units, and then moving through, we should be good. So out from the back door, something that's never happened to me in any of my religious deity victories so far, which is not very many admittedly, but still was not expecting this. Having already occupied and converted every single known Hungarian city. Maybe not that one. They somehow, when Germany was supposed to be my last hurrah, managed to get their empire back into neutral territory. It was a real concern because, well, it's turn 160 and we're not under that much pressure game-wise, but still, it's like, how easy is it for civilizations to come out from under and get converted back? I mean, if this keeps happening, we might have a problem. Fortunately, I was able to come back over because it's not too far away from Germany. I was sending my legion of apostle units over from the west, having already got through the German territory, as I was mentioning. And we're about to win the game at PAX. It's quite a cool name. Does he have nice packs? You tell me.
We have a basic need to believe in something greater than ourselves. We crave solace in the darkness, and light unto our path. Thanks to you, we found meaning amid the cosmos.
Et voila! That is our religious victory game on Splintered Fractal Map with our friend Gorgo here. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like it, to follow the channel, maybe leave a comment, tell me what you want to hear about, what you want to see, and I'll see you next time.